Welcome back to my humble little tavern, y'all. Rivendare here, and today I'm talking about my experience coming back to Diablo 4 since dropping it shortly after the original launch. Now, Diablo 4 launched on June 6, 2023, and from then until now, which is Season 11, the Season of the Divine, Blizzard released over 50 patches and hotfixes, one major expansion, the Vessel of Hatred, and now 11 seasons. These introduce new classes, new zones, endgame modes, seasonal mechanics, massive itemization overhauls, class balance passes, quality of life improvements, and even economy tweaks. And you know what? I did not give a shit. Why? Well, you're about to find out. Now, I've heard a lot of people talking online and saying that the Paladin should initially have been launched with the base game, and if it was me back then, I would 100% be agreeing with them. I was actually pretty pissed there wasn't a Paladin. I've been a Paladin main in World of Warcraft since the start of the Burning Crusade, and it seemed like such a no-brainer to have the Paladin. It's one of the most popular and recognizable classes in not only Diablo, but in literally any fantasy setting. But alas, it was what it was, and I had to roll my trusty second pick, the Necro. You could have thrown a wet fart from Deckard Cain in my face in 4K at that point, and I would have been pretty hyped. All my boys were excited in playing. I even convinced my girlfriend to step into Sanctuary to test her mettle at demon slaying for the first time once the game was released on console. Looking back though, it really was just a honeymoon phase for the game. I was hyped for the story, the gritty dark world, the Sanctuary, demons, death, mayhem, light versus dark, all of that. And if this right here isn't a good litmus test, then I don't really know what is. All I really remember is the friendly fat NPC, I think his name was Donan, I actually had to look him up, just dying, and the angel Anarius getting stabbed by Mommy Lilith. Those are like the two main things I remember. I'd have to sit here for a long ass time and try to even think about the rest of the story, what was going on. I can even barely remember how the last boss fight with Lilith went, which is funny because I vividly remember how the Diablo fight ended with Diablo 3 nearly 11 years ago. So I called my girl up and asked her what she remembered about the game. This was her first ARPG and she played it pretty casually. She said the game was fun enough, but she couldn't really remember much about the campaign or the characters, similar to me. She also said there really wasn't anything to do once you hit max level, makes sense, and she basically quit almost as soon as she hit level cap. So I was super excited about endgame, you know, the main point for the whole series. I was beyond ready to grind for hours, get incremental upgrades with the occasional huge drop. The things that make you go, holy shit. The things that give you a shot of adrenaline right up your asshole. So here I am starting endgame, doing whatever it was at the time. I think it was mainly just dungeon grinding. And I remember not having a single holy shit upgrade moment in endgame. Not one. I remember sitting there and being like, why the hell am I even playing this? What's the point? Everything that was in the game felt like it was purposely trying to slow me down or just keep me logged in playing. The fucking horse was beyond frustrating. The portals to town were slow. It was like they wanted you to beat your head against the wall for a single chance at an upgrade. It felt like an insult to my intelligence that Blizzard thought I would be stupid enough to spend my precious time logged into a corporate money grab simulator. I was starting to wonder if maybe I was playing the mobile version of the game because, yes, I do have a phone. Guys, if you know me, I'm not afraid of a grind. I got the insane title in a while, but I at least had a decent time doing that. You know, also I was much younger with more free time, but nowadays I shouldn't have to drop 20 hours just to feel a small burst of progression. That's just trash game design. You should be getting little bursts of excitement throughout your whole playtime with the occasional huge burst thrown in. That's what makes you keep playing. Seems obvious, right? And it is obvious. That's why every single one of my friends quit playing. They got to endgame and were like, wait, this is it? Like, what? I think I would rather vacuum my house. That has better progression. I had a friend join later and they just straight up quit even before finishing the campaign because he saw and heard that there was no reason to get to max level because there was nothing to do. No amount of corporate trickery could cover up the glaring issues the game had. Simply, it got boring as fuck and it felt more like a chore than a fun video game. So I moved on, not looking back or even thinking about touching it again. The disdain built up from the initial play already built up too high in my head. I would occasionally see new videos or headlines about new patches or fixes, but I haven't heard about anything major, and I'm not going to come back for a few seasons just because you added some quirky gimmick to the game. You can put a chocolate-covered strawberry on a pile of shit, but guess what? It's still mainly a huge pile of shit. That compiled with the loss of trust I had with the base game, I was so weary of their corporate scheming at this point. I felt like they were just trying to lure me back with a shiny trinket and then fleece me for a battle pass. This same thing happened to me already once when I accidentally redeemed a battle pass that I didn't even want because they did some dark triad bullshit trickery with the UI, and didn't even confirm that I wanted to spend my free battle pass on that BS season. I think it was the very first season. I know that happened to a lot of people. There are a lot of people who are like, wait, I did not mean to activate that battle pass. What is going on? Why did that happen? Now, it's one thing if the game is amazing and super fun, I can let some of the stupid shit slide, but to not only have a boring game, but to also scam me at the same time, it was too much. When I was writing the script for this video, I was actually just getting pissed thinking about all that stuff. So with that out of the way, this brings us back to why I think dropping the Paladin right now was the correct move. Because if the Paladin didn't drop, I would not be giving a single fuck about coming back to this game. All I have was this sour taste in my mouth from what I remember 2 years ago. It's like I'm an abused dog, and the thought of my horse running into a wall repeatedly would put me into a seizure. Horse, oh, no gear, horse, oh, leggy, oh, gear, no gear, Now the situation we have now is kind of like this. It's like seeing the hottest girl you've ever seen from across the room. You figure, why the hell not take a crack at asking her out? You haven't seen anything like that in years. And you get talking to her, and not only is she hot, but she actually has great things to say. She's not totally stupid. She's pretty without makeup, and you have things in common. She actually likes to go out and do activities with you. Long story short, Paladin is what got me in the door, and all the changes that have happened to the game these past couple of years compounded are what made me stay. As a more casual player, I'm actually pretty overwhelmed with the endgame right now. It feels super rewarding, and right now pretty much every task I do, dungeon I run, or level of the pit I complete, I feel stronger. I feel my build start to come together more. This is how I envisioned the game would be when it first launched. It feels so cool to look at my character just flying around the screen, diving in the hordes of enemies with holy spears and chucking spinning hammers all over the place, exploding enemy bodies into a fine blood mist. I'm 20 hours into the endgame so far, and I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of it. Using the Paladin as a badass segue to get players in the door to show all the changes that happened over the years is easily the luckiest decision Blizzard ever made, or a 5-head move by them. You know, screw them for having a poor experience off the jump, but at least I'm glad it's good right now. Because currently I keep having that itch to watch those sweet numbers go up. If they keep improving and tweaking things, I think that there is going to be quite the ARPG battle between PoE 2 and Diablo 4. And as consumers, that kind of competition is exactly what we want. And honestly, I think the future is looking pretty bright for ARPGs. Long story short, yes, it's worth coming back if you haven't played since the original launch. In fact, I'm gonna hop on as soon as I'm done with this video. That's about it, folks. Thanks for sticking around and listening to this filthy casual's experience on the game, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm Rivendare, and I hope to see my fellow brothers and sisters evoking holy justice by my side in Sanctuary very soon. Until next time, peace.